Hey everybody, I know I've been gone a little while. Today's November 26th. Um, been out for a little bit. I've had a few medical issues. Had a kidney stone, or a couple I had to deal with. But anyway, we're back and beautiful weather today. So I'm tickled to death to be out here. I know I had promised an anchor video, so I figured we'd start with that today, and then I'm going to do a little fishing here in a little bit. So I told you I had a real simple design for an anchor that works really well. Now, let's see here, regular old 5-gallon bucket. Got holes in the bottom of it, let the water drain out of it, and as you can see, it's got a bucket of rope in it. You typically want 3 times the water depth plus your boat length for an anchor rope. Now, Keowee's got some pretty deep water, so sometimes I have to anchor and put the anchor in 70 feet of water to put my boat on a point 24 feet deep or 18 feet deep, whatever I need. And so in that case, you end up actually using a lot more anchor rope than most people think. I probably have in here, I'd say there's 300 feet, 350 feet maybe in this bucket. I love the bucket because I can just take my rope and just drop it straight in the bucket when I'm getting my anchor back up. And it's always there, it's never tangled. And when I get ready to put my anchors out, if I'm fishing by myself, I can set this bucket in the front, I can pitch my anchor out and go back to the console, put the boat in reverse, back up, rope will just feed out. And obviously I've got different kinds of rope, so I kind of know based on what rope's going out of the boat about how much I've got out the front. When I know I've got about enough out the front, actually you're going to have more on one anchor than the other, because you got to have enough to set the other anchor and pull back up on your first one. So when I know I've got enough out and I got where I want the back anchor, I've got a bucket for the back, same anchor, I throw it out, pull back forward, I get the front anchor, get the boat where I want it, and I tie the front anchor off on a cleat. And then I get the rope for the back anchor and I pull until I pull both ropes tight and tie the back of the boat off. Now, the anchor design, which is what I've been getting so many questions about when I said I had one that worked really well and you hardly ever lost it, that's what we got right here. This, as you can see, is not a very big anchor. It's a grapple type anchor. It's homemade. This is a car axle I cut the ends off of, and I welded, this one I actually welded stainless steel spikes on, because I use it in Keowee. It really is not something I ever have to worry about. I need to bend to get my anchor back or whatever. And then you take the length of chain. You can see I've got about 3 feet of chain. You weld the chain to the end of the anchor where the grapples are. And then on the end of your anchor, where I took just a half length of chain, welded it on right here to give me an eye on the end of the anchor. And what you do is you pull your chain kind of tight, and I don't know if you can see in the video there, I think you can. I've got 2 small, tiny little tie wraps on there. These things are, $3 for a bag of 100. They're 3.5 inches long. They're not very strong, but they don't have to be the way the anchor works. If you can see when the anchor's in the water and the chain's pulled, there's no pressure on the tie wraps. I'm pulling from the grapple hook into my anchor, making it cinch up in the mud, under into the rocks, or whatever the case may be. All right, so now I've got it cinched in. It's grappled into the soil, like so. My chain, my rope, everything's tight. Boat's anchored. I fish. Now it's time to get them up. So I untie the back rope and I untie the front one. I start backing up. I pull rope up till I get over the back anchor, and hopefully it just comes up, frees out of the mud or whatever, and comes up. But we've all had anchors that get hung, and when that happens, most of the anchors that's on the market out there, you can't get them back. They're there. You got to cut your rope. You lose whatever length of rope, water depth you had, and you lose an expensive anchor. And that's where these really pay off. To get this anchor back, you can actually, most of us can break this by hand. If you can't break these little tie wraps by hand, you simply tie your anchor rope off on a cleat and use your big motor and pop these little tie wraps. Now, when the tie wraps are broke, they're stronger than they look, ain't they? When the tie wraps are broke, this is where the anchor becomes super, super good. All right, so I broke my tie wraps. The chain was like this. I'm trying to pull up. My anchor's hung under a log or under a rock. I can't get it up. I break the tie wraps loose. And now my chain and my rope is pulling from the back of the anchor. And you pull it out from under and straight up, out from anything you've got it hung in. We have thrown these anchors literally in treetops, underwater forest, rock piles. We've thrown them everywhere and anchored a boat, to see if, well, number one, we needed to anchor the boat to fish there, but to also just to see if we could get them back. And these anchors always come back. If you get in a point where they're hung, you simply, like I said, pull it and break the tie wrap, or tie it to an anchor cleat and break the tie wrap with your big motor if that's what you need to do. Now, don't get carried away when you attach a chain to the eyelet on the end of the anchor with tie wraps. Don't get too big a tie wrap, because you can not break them. As you saw, I didn't break that one with my just hand strength. Now, it's a little easier when you're pulling on it from an angle with, the rope. It's a little easier to break them. You get a little more leverage standing up and pulling on them that way. So if I'm using really, really small tie wraps like I've got here today, I'll use two. Sometimes if it's a windy day or something along that lines. But most of the time, one's all you're going to need. Don't go putting a 12-inch heavy-duty commercial tie wrap on this thing. You can't break it. And don't run a piece of rope through it and tie it. You can't break it. If you use electrical tape, I'm going to tell you how I know this, because we ran out of tie wraps and we've took electrical tape and wrapped it around this thing. Don't put more than about 2 wraps, because it's stronger than you think. So, but there, I put the tie wraps back on. You can see they're just cheap, $3 a bag, 3.5-inch tie wraps, just to hold the chain to the front so that when I'm setting my anchor, I can pull and make it dig in. And then when I get ready to leave, if it's hung, I break the tie wraps. My chain then pulls the anchor from the back, and it comes out from under and straight up from anywhere you've got it hung. And another reason I love the buckets is you can see right here, I'm dropping in get the camera. I'm dropping in the anchor rope, and when I get the anchor in, I just simply set it in the bucket, and it's all contained. It's taken care of. Everything's right there. I got my anchor, 350 feet of rope, and a bucket, holes in the bottom of it, and the water will drain out of it. Really simple. I got one on each end of the boat. I can set these anchors by myself. I can get them up by myself. They're never in a mess. The rope's never laying around where you get tangled up. It's never tied up in a knot where you can't get it loose. So this is our little anchor design that we came up with years ago. Like I said, I've been using these two anchors. They've been on this boat 15 years, and I've yet to have to replace one. Just really simple, easy to make, really easy to maintain, keep up with. The rope's not in a mess. The rope's not, tangled up. It goes in the bucket neat, comes out neat. I can just throw the anchor out, put the boat in reverse, and back up, and the rope will feed right out over the front of the boat. I tie the end of the rope, the opposite end from the anchor. I tie it to the bucket handle, and down in the very bottom of that, I've got about a 3.5 inch styrofoam float. I have had a bucket actually go out of the boat because I wasn't paying attention, was backed up too far, and ran out of rope. I since added an extra 100 feet of rope, but what the 3.5 inch float and the bucket will do is float if you do drag it out of the front of the boat. So that's another good thing to keep in mind. You can buy them off Amazon or whatever, 3.5 inch diameter float. It's about 4 or 5 inches long. It's got a hole through the center of it. Slide it on your anchor rope, tie it to your handle, put the float down in the bucket, and then pile all your rope in on top of it, and you're good to go. Because like I said, I have actually drug one out of a boat one time. The bucket went over, and of course the float and the bucket floated, and we just pulled back up and got it, no big deal. But that's our anchor design. I wanted to run over that with you real quick before I got out on the lake, where I was having to maintain the boat and pay attention to my driving and fishing rods and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I know I've been gone for about a month. I'm going to have a fishing report and hopefully show you catching some spotted bass here in a few minutes. We're going to go around the lake and up to Stamp Creek. I don't think they're really on the secondary points. I think they've moved more up in the creek run, so that's where we're headed. But I'll have a fishing report and hopefully some fish for you here in a little bit. Appreciate you joining my channel. Tell all your friends about it. Get anybody you can to like and subscribe to my channel. Means a lot to me. I'd love to get a big following, be able to post these regular. That would be just awesome to me. And I'm planning to do a giveaway for the folks that are subscribers. Probably be right after the first of the year, sometime in January. Try to do a pretty nice giveaway to somebody. And again, I appreciate everybody that's already a follower on my channel. Tell all your friends about us, and we'll see you again soon. Remember, like and subscribe. Big Country, Kev, Lake Keowee Fishing Report. Y'all have a great day.